Well, let's go to Annelise now. I mean, you've spent so much time there, Annelise, now. I mean, Donald Trump, in the end, he lost by a fair bit last time. Is he picking enough? Is he picking up enough, you know, in recent weeks, recent months, recent years? Is he picking up enough to be able to get over Joe Biden next time?
We have to look at the Joe Biden factor of this as well. It's becoming much more of an acceptable conversation to talk about his age, and that's not playing well in the general public. He is seen as being probably at the end of a solid term for his supporters, and they would be happy to have someone else, and that's very much what the polling shows us. If the other candidate is Donald Trump, I think you'll get a very strong showing of support, similar to what we saw in 2020, because this is a known brand and everyone's locked into their opinions on that. It's reigniting old wounds, and so it would be good for both parties to look at new candidates and have a new conversation, but that's not really an option right now. Who knows how the next year is going to play out with the primaries and all that. But the other thing to do is, with all these legal cases, we need to look at them at the sum of their parts, because this is just the entire atmosphere that Donald Trump's dealing with, not just the fact that if he is a candidate, then it makes it easier to defend himself in every single one of these instances, to say they're coming after me because I'm running again, when he probably wouldn't be running again but for the actual cases. But the other issue here is they're looking at how this is going to play out if he gets back into office. Will he have access to presidential pardons to take care of his own convictions? He'll have the opportunity to appoint the Attorney General. He can find someone sympathetic to that. And then he's going to have a lot of grudges, because he's very obviously unhappy with how this is all playing out. He looked pretty miserable in court today that this was wasting his time. He looked like he'd rather be anywhere else, and perked right back up when he got to be out at the Versailles Bakery, which is a very well-known spot for Cuban Americans in particular, who are big Republican base, especially here in Florida. So there's a lot of factors here that he's using to his own advantage, but at the same time, that doesn't mean that there isn't opportunity for the Republican establishment to get in there and change the narrative if they can put someone forward new. This doesn't happen overnight. This will take months. This will have to go through the kind of debate program, so it could still happen. Yeah,
and you made this point a little earlier, Annelise, too. It's worth repeating. I mean, this all happened in Florida today. Ron DeSantis is the governor. Donald Trump stealing all of the limelight, all of the spotlight, all of the oxygen in Ron DeSantis' own state.
I'm putting him in a very uncomfortable position, because he's trying to court the same voters that are devoted to Donald Trump, but maybe trying to say to them, hey, why don't you support someone new? And I know I say this ad nauseum, but most people don't vote for candidates for either party, Democrat or Republican. Most people just aren't that interested in the political process to get out there and do it and take part in the process, and that's why there's such a small group of voters they're all trying to appeal to become the nominee. It tends to be the diehards. It's the people who come out to court on days like this to support Donald Trump. They're the ones who are going to bother casting a ballot in a primary, although Florida is not really that influential for primaries in particular. The momentum with the calendar tends to go to other states. We're talking Iowa, we're talking South Carolina and New Hampshire. What we are seeing here is he's taking up all the airspace.